What's up? It's Jumanne, and I'm starting to realize that I need to have a different approach to women, and that's just coming from just realizing I'm better off accepting the things that I can't control. So if you know my perspective on women based off of previous videos that I've recorded, I've always expressed how, like, if a woman's not gonna accept me unconditionally, then I'm just not gonna respect her. I'm not gonna love her. Things like that, just because I feel like men in today's society are being used and tolerated for money. Women are so caught up on a financially stable guy that they don't really consider, building a guy up to being financially stable. If, they're being pursued by an unconditional guy, that if the only thing I have to offer is love, unfortunately, that's not good enough, and that's just been me as a guy. Like, I know that I'm not the most attractive guy. I know I'm not the tallest guy. In comparison, that's just me being honest with myself, that, relationships are competitive. So it's like, women have options more than men. And if a woman has options, I have to understand and respect the fact that, she's gonna be in a position to choose. And why would a woman choose me? But like, in comparison to a lot of my friends, like, I've always been a good guy. I'm not the best guy, but I've always been more of a good guy than I've been like a guy that's like, I even respect the women that I just try to use for like intimate relationships. Like, if I just want to have a one night stand or something, like, I respect women that don't respect themselves. That's the type of guy I've always been, for a long time. So like, I just felt a sense of entitlement to being accepted a little bit more because of the way that I treat women, like, or just the way I perceived women, just in a way that, again, it's just like, I always put women on a pedestal. But it's never worked for me, because over time, throughout all the rejection I've been through, I've developed, like, just becoming very desperate. I didn't send all types of paragraphs to women, and double texting, triple texting, quadruple texting, quintuple texting. Like, I did all of it, like, and it's embarrassing, but I became very emotionally dependent for women to accept me, to validate myself, and it affected my self-esteem, and it just became problematic for me over time. And now I'm at an age where I'm like, you know what, I can't do nothing about the past, far as in the disappointments that I ended up feeling based off of the expectations I had. I gotta hold myself accountable, because it's been a lot of inflicting damage that I put based on my perspective and expectations, and that desire that I had to be in a relationship. So I'm at an age where I'm like, you know what, I don't see myself getting married, not because I'm against marriage, but just because I've never been in enough relationships, or I've never talked to enough women to feel secure in a relationship. That's just in a regular boyfriend girlfriend relationship, never mind a marriage. So what is my new approach? Well, I watch a lot of content, scrolling through social media. I might see a lot of clips, and I see women, like, the 50-50 conversation. When I see like videos of women talking about that on podcasts, women get very offended by that. Like, that's like an immediate, like, women are like really anti 50-50. And for me as a man, like, I don't care about a woman's 50%. As a man, I want to be the provider, and I expect to be a provider. And I don't expect a woman to contribute to providing, but I do have a serious issue with women that have the unwillingness to not contribute to a household if needed. So any woman that is just unwilling to go 50-50 if needed, it kind of reflects that does she really love that man? You know what I'm saying? Like, can a woman say they really are in relationships for love? Are they in marriage for love if they're unwilling to go 50-50? And they can. Let's say they can go 50-50. but they're still unwilling to do it because of their pride and ego or whatever it is that make women feel like they have no entitlement to going 50%. You know what I'm saying? It just, as a man, it just makes me question what is she there for? Because it doesn't seem like she's there for me. You know what I mean? And men are not accepted unconditionally, which I think depending on how secure you are as a man or how you feel, you might be blind to that. You know, I think sometimes a lot of men get into relationships and, you know, they don't find out till it's too late that, you know, within the marriage or, you know, that she never really loved you for you. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just kind of expressing like that's where my mind has always been. Like I always been like, man, if she's not going to accept me for me, then I'm just never going to, you know, be in a relationship. And it's like, I don't want to be alone either. I know I don't need a woman for anything, but what I mean being alone, like I'm still going to want to interact with women. But how do I do that if I know that I don't have the good intentions? Like I feel as if I went from being the good guy to now it's like, you know what? I'm gonna be the bad guy. But I don't want to be the bad guy in a sense of like, I just don't want to be that guy because unfortunately I've always been like a simp. Like I said, I've always put women on a pedestal. I feel like that's just natural for me. Like, but now I'm kind of like, you know what? There's just, women are the way they are. Women will use men for money the same way men will use women for their body. You know, it's kind of like just men are just like the way we are when it comes to just wanting that, you know, sexual attention and you know, just being so caught up on just that. That's just the way how we are naturally. I'm pretty sure society plays a big part in it too, but it's more of a natural thing. And women just being materialistic in a lot of ways. I kind of look at it as like, you know, to be an adult and depend on someone else to provide for you, to spend money on you, there has to be a strong sense of insecurity there, you know? Because I'm a struggling adult. Like I'm a grown man that can barely take care of himself, that really can't take care of himself, but I still don't really depend on no. I'm not like, I want people to support me, but I don't want to depend on someone to provide for me for the rest of my life. Women feel like that. They want, if they don't have a provider, something is wrong for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a sense of insecurity there is what I'm trying to say, because that's just how I'm looking at it from my perspective. I'm in a position where I actually need support, but there's a limitation on how much support I expect to be given from in any relationship, whether it's my friends or family or a girl. Like I don't expect nothing from women. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I just think women just have a sense of insecurity that make them the way that they are, where they feel like I'm trying to figure out how can I have a healthy relationship with women without my insecurities affecting a relationship. And I'm not sure if that, like, what is the purpose in life? I feel like life is just more about survival. It's about reproduction. Like it's not personal, you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like I'm gonna go crazy if I try to look for that perfect woman, like the one that's gonna accept me the way I am, that's gonna help me build myself up while building her up. Like, you know, it just doesn't exist. Like, and I pay attention to other people's relationships too. It doesn't seem like anyone's really truly happy, or most relationships seem like they fail. So it's just like, whatever it is I'm looking for, it probably doesn't exist. So what can I accept? Like what are my standards? How can I lower my standards even though nobody wants to lower their standards? And in reality, how can I lower my standards for a guy that's in my position that would just make sense? That, you know what I'm saying, where I could have a relationship with a woman, or at this point I'm thinking multiple women, and let me just get into like, that's where I started to think differently, you know what I'm saying? Because I always wanted one woman. I've never been the type to want to be a player or have multiple women. But now, me considering the fact that if I'm successful the way I would like to be as a content creator, you know what I'm saying, I could be in a position where I have the money where it would attract the type of women that I'm attracted to, you know? If I'm in a position where I got hundreds of thousands of dollars as a content creator, I'm making, you know, 5 figures a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, you know, I'm managing my money properly, I'm not gambling, all of that. At some point in time, I will be able to attract the kind of women I want just on money alone. Now, money doesn't attract all women, but me being able to have money, me having money, I will attract a lot more women than just being a good guy alone. Like I said, like I've approached the women and literally been upfront and honest and said, hey, I can offer you loyalty, I can offer you love. Like I don't have no money, or I'm not where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the funniest guy, I'm not the cutest guy, whatever, but I can love you. Like as a good guy, just trying to be open and honest and have that conversation. That does not work. It has not worked. In fact, I've sent like messages to those girls. And it kind of just, I think it just comes off weird more than anything. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not really something that women will see that and they'll push away from that. So, I'm not interested in being a good guy. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in being a guy I just want temporary relationships at this point, but I'm scared because it puts me in a position to have multiple children with multiple women, which is gonna create multiple problems. I don't wanna be on child support. I don't wanna have multiple baby mamas. As of now, I don't have any kids, and I would like to keep it like that. But if I decide to live a lifestyle where I'm involving myself with multiple women because I don't see myself being in a relationship with one woman that's healthy and that might actually last, you know what I mean? Like you see a lot of these rappers, like, you know, you look at Future and NBA Youngboy and Nick Cannon and just celebrities. Like once you have fame and money, and not to say I probably will never get on there. I'll never get on their kind of status, but I don't have to be at their level to have access to multiple women that will put me in a position where I could ruin my life by having multiple children, you know what I'm saying? Or just, again, even STDs and things like that. That's something that needs to be, I consider that. Anytime I involve myself with a woman, I do think about like the consequences of what I'm doing right now. So, and I'm not even double digits right now. So that's the thing, like with me, like my experience with women is not that, it's not really, when I call myself an incel, involuntary celibate, there's reasons for that. Like it's just like I've been rejected way more times than like I felt like was necessary, unless I'm just that ugly, you know what I'm saying? But women don't respond to your messages, so they never tell me what the problem is, so I've never been able to correct the problem. If I'm doing something wrong or saying something wrong, you know what I'm saying? So I have to assume like my physical attraction plays a part in it. And if that's the case, I can respect and understand that. But I think a lot of it is financial and social status wise too. Like if I'm, you know what I'm saying, if I have money and I'm famous, I think even with the history that I have on the internet, I think a lot of women will bypass that. You know, there's going to be a lot of women that will tolerate my reputation as long as I have money and I'm able to develop a better reputation, which I'm currently doing now. So I think I will have a better chance with women just being, basically what I'm saying is having money, I will have a better chance than just being a good guy. And the way I'm gonna go about that is really just kind of like just doing what I want, you know what I'm saying? But also being cautious of the consequences of doing what I want. Because I'm starting to understand what women tolerate, not necessarily what women want. Because of course women want a good guy. They want a guy that's gonna respect them. They want a guy but the action, when you look at the choices that they make and what they settle for, they're not going for the good guys. They're going for the guys that clearly show them red flags at the beginning, and then when things don't work out, they're able to use that to say like, oh yeah, he was, you know what I'm saying, to play the victim, and you know what I'm saying. I just like, I feel like women have more control. They have more control over the existence of a relationship, on why the relationship exists, because they get to pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? Men, we're kind of going out there hunting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to pursue, we have to engage and you know, get them to like us. You go on a date with a woman, it's more about, I'm hoping that she likes me versus, you know what I mean? And then she's on a date, like, hoping that she likes you too, versus it kind of being like a mutual thing. Like, so, I don't know. I'm just tired of stressing about all of that. I don't feel like it's anything I should stress. And, I just want to be cautious about like the steps that I'm taking now, because I lost I lost the desire for love. I don't believe in love as much as I used to, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not passionate about that. So now I'm kind of just caught on the idea of just like being a player, I guess, you know what I mean? With the women that do accept me, you know, and I'm still prepared to get rejected even with money. You know, money's not gonna, grant me access to every woman, but I know I'm going to have access to a lot more women than I do now. And there's always going to be like different, like, women that I find very attractive that are going to be available to me. And I do know how to talk to women to an extent too, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know I'm going to have to dress a lot better. I know, you know, I think my social status is going to play a part. It's going to take time, but I'm just taking a different approach to women, you know what I mean? Because for so long, I was so caught up in just, I mean, for the last 5 to 6 years, I mean, I was so caught up in a woman accepting me the way I was, because it would put me in a position where I felt I could trust women. And I want to, and in order for me to provide for women the way a man should and the way I want to, I'm only comfortable with doing that knowing that I'm not being taken advantage of as a provider, as a protector. But, you know, again, now I'm just caught up. I'm just thinking like, you know what? I don't see myself ever getting married. So I'm likely to just have temporary relationships, which is dangerous, but I don't see any other way around it. And, you know, this is a result of women not communicating with me. You know, this is a result of women just not responding to messages. You know, I done sent all types of messages trying to get closure on what I was doing wrong and things like that. But, you know, again, when women have the option to choose, they're going to choose, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have to respond. So I understand that. But once you get the money, I mean, once you get the power, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then the women come. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. And overall, too, I'm done with being angry. There's nothing for me to be angry about. If a woman chooses me, or if she accepts me, if she makes herself available to me, then she does that. If she doesn't make herself available to me, there's plenty of fish in the sea. You know, there's no reason for me to, because I've been angry at women for a long time too, but I'm past that point too. So, I don't know. That's kind of my new approach. I don't really have anything else to kind of like, I don't know.